Hey folks, Dave here in Studio B. Jumping on here just real quick tonight. A couple things to go over here. Let me just make sure that we're up and online. Although I like this new EV Mux thing, I really do. But I still do like to check just because of the last time, you know. All right, we're good. All right. Remember that last service I used? They were okay, but man, when they went sour, yeah, they went sour. I couldn't get anything to happen. But anyway, a couple things we wanted to, I wanted to talk about here tonight is some of the show topics. I'm looking down at my notes here. I got my notes here so we can talk about some things. I was going to try to do a game tonight, but again, I was at the rink today and then come home and finished up some last night. And here we are. Still too tired to play anything. Hopefully that'll change next week. I hope so. I really do. Anyway, so a couple things here. We got some people in the chat here. So we get David C. comes by. Thanks for coming by, David C. The pesky poll comes by. I've been watching some of your, what is that, second and 10? Is that the game that you've been playing, second and 10? I like that. And Barbara comes by, and Jeff. There's Jeff, and Cutter's getting some snow. We're getting snow tomorrow, too, and we got to take the dog to the vet tomorrow, and there's no way around it. Snow or no snow, we're going through the snow to get him there tomorrow. He's having issues again, so we don't know if the cancer came back. So we gotta get him there tomorrow. And then this weekend we could be getting a ton of snow, and I'm 3 days in a row at the rink up in New Hampshire again. Luckily, that comes to an end in a couple of weeks as far as like the bulk of it, and then it's just spotty stuff, and I can kind of catch my breath. Wow, I hate to keep talking about it because you guys are probably like, oh, all he talks about is work. It's just nonstop. It is nonstop. And Barbara's got a lot of snow coming your way. Yeah, well, you haven't had snow in a couple of days, you know. So DB comes by. Yeah, well, hopefully going to have a good shot here tonight. And yeah, he's it just I just got back from the rink actually. I was at a rink late last night. And then this morning I slept in and went to another rink. Oh, the game today, what a blowout. 13-2. Yeah, it's two teams that I've broadcasted quite a bit this year. And one of them just it's constantly rotating kids and they don't have enough guys and it was nothing after one. And I was like, oh, they're keeping up. Then it was 6-2 after two and then 13-2, 7 goals in the third. This other team, just ran out of gas. So Barbara's had 2 days of no snow. Mike comes by. Mike, I've been watching some of your stuff. I'm enjoying the football, actually, the Strat football. I've really been enjoying that. And, we had a husky that we put down at 13, too. It sucked. She had cancer spots all over. That sucks so bad, you know. D. Scott comes by. Thanks for coming by, D. Scott. The pesky poll said it's 50 and raining down here in Southern California. Right? That's what SC is, Southern California, right? And it's not happy because it's baseball season. It's not baseball season yet. Not baseball season yet. It's getting there, you know. Jim, oh boy. Oh, Jim is in Southern California. He says he's got, how many inches of snow out there, Jim? Huh. I'll let you guys read that comment there yourself. That's kind of funny. So anyway, a couple things I want to talk about here. I asked the question here. Yeah, 13-2. Is that the Mickey Mouse game with Gretzky and the Devils? I'm not sure. But yeah, the Red Army pulled away. Yeah, it was pretty bad. They just stopped celebrating goals. The puck never left the zone. And it was just like, yeah, boy, what can you do in that third period? Team was tired, just watching the puck, wanted to go home. What can you do? They happen. At least it was a fast game. At least it was a fast game, so I got to go home early. Southern Carolina, I knew that. I knew it was one of those two. And really, the Gamecocks opening their baseball season on Friday. So in February, they start baseball. That's interesting. Well, I suppose down south, you probably could, right? I'm so used to up here having nothing happening till April. That's just the way it is. But anyway, a couple of things here we want to talk about. We want to talk about, where's my banner? I'm going to put up a banner for this. All right, let me do this. Let me do this. All right, so here's the first one. What constitutes a desert island game? Okay, And I asked this question on Patreon and a couple other places, and most of the people just replied with their favorite game. It's not the question. The question was, what constitutes a desert island game? And if you're wondering what a desert island game is, a desert island game is. I'm going to change the color here. Hang on a sec here. I'm going to change the color. Let me put that more. There we go. That'll stick out a little bit more. A desert island game is a game. If you were theoretically stuck on a desert island, what when you say, hey, what album would you listen to? What movie would you watch? What TV show? The whole bit. And so for the sports sim world, it's like, what game would you play if you were stuck somewhere? It doesn't have to be a desert island. That's just what we say. If you were stuck somewhere, what game do you think you could play for a long time and not get sick of? That's kind of the gist of desert island game. Now, I don't want to know what your game is so much as what constitutes that as a desert island game. What are some of the things about that game that you could play that for long periods of time and be okay with that and not want to just, throw it in the ocean after, a few weeks. And so that's what we want to go. What goes into these games? What are some of the things that you look for in a, quote, desert island game? So that's one of the things we're looking for here. So if you watch this after the fact, throw some comments in the comments section. What do you look for? What are the things that, so if you say, okay, my desert island game is blank, X, whatever it is, and here's why, okay? Don't want to know what it is as so much to know why. Why is this going to be your go-to game? What are some of the ABCDs that make this game a desert island game for you? Okay, I have my things that I would list out as to what would make a game for me, a game I would play for a long time. If I couldn't play anything else, what would constitute a game for me? What are some of the things I would have to have, is another way to put it. What are some of the things that you would have to have in a game to be able to play it for a long time and not be like, okay, I'm tired of this. Now, again, we'll all get tired of something, but there are some games that you'll get tired of faster than others, so to speak. So I want to know what ones will you get tired of less, or whatever the word is. What game could you play longer, I guess is where I'm going with that. Back to the chat here. Let's see. Where are we now? Kenny comes by. That football field was Al Wilson's 3D6 Gaming. 3D6-Gaming. And he has all the baseball, the football, and soccer and hockey fields that you can buy from him over there. 3D6-Gaming is where I get all that. Pesky Paul says college baseball starts this weekend. I'm not. I'm a less a college baseball guy than I'm a college basketball guy. I don't follow college basketball. Sorry, it's just not my thing. And Pesky says he wants Tom Hanks to open those FedEx boxes in Castaway. I bet there was some Strat seasons in that. Yeah. I can't watch that movie because I know that when I watch that, I just look at myself. I'd be dead in a couple of days. I just wouldn't survive. I don't have any survival skills. I don't like to go camping. I don't like to be outside. So for me, I'm on the island. It's like I'm dead. I'm dead. So I don't like to watch that movie. There's a few movies now I don't like to watch because that's not me. I won't survive. But anyway, so that's the first topic is what constitutes a desert island game? What kind of things would do you like to see in a game that will make it constitute a desert island game? The other thing we have here is someone brought up a change of pace. Okay, so a change of pace. Now, what that kind of means is you're used to, okay, for me, I'm a big 70s and 80s guy. I like my Bobby Orr 70s up into my late 70s Bruins, and then probably into my late 80s Bruins, and then they kind of stunk for a while. But that's my hockey right there. And my football is obviously 70s and 80s, and then I skip ahead to the Brady era. But I can, Tom did some great things here in New England. Basketball is mostly 80s, Celtics when they had their heyday. And then baseball for me is kind of like early to mid 70s to mid 80s, like 10, 12, 13 years, something like that. So my windows are small, admittedly small, right now. But change of pace, someone brought up that as a topic. It's like, how about trying something different? And this particular poster, I think it was on Facebook, said, I'm going to go and try this. Okay. And I want to, do something that's a change of pace for me. Instead of just doing the same old, I'm going to do a change of pace. I kind of do that from time to time. I will buy a season like that's just off the edge of my radar, so to speak, like 69 baseball. Don't know anything about it, but I know that the Seattle Pilots are a team that doesn't exist, and I love those, as well as, there are 3 other expansion teams. So I'm going to play that one there. I'm going to play a little bit of 69 baseball. It's like I don't know much about it, but just off my radar. So for me, I guess that would be considered a change of pace. And then with football, I went back like 1970, again, 69, 70 era. That's a little bit before I had my eyes open. I was still kind of, sleeping and burping milk out at that point there. But I go back now and I see some of the names in the 70 football season. I'm like, holy cow, this is awesome. Look at all these guys. These guys are great. I can't wait to play these guys. People that were on the tail end of their careers when I started following sports is kind of what it was. And so for me, the change of pace for me is I'm going a little bit off the board, but I really want to get a little crazy here and try that change of pace like that listener of the show was posting. And I'm really looking at a season of APA hockey that's way out of my range. Now, I do have some of their older ones, like the 29-30 or whatever it is, and 40-41, because it's got some of the good Bruins teams, admittedly. So I've played those a couple of times. But there's a couple of seasons that APA offers that's way out of my range. Way out of my range. And I was like, something? This could be real fun. This could be a fun time as a change of pace, going to play something really, really out of the ordinary for me. And I'm not, like Ron's doing right now. He's doing, 46 or 56 baseball. I forget what he's doing right now. But that's a change of pace for him because he's, it's not in his wheelhouse, and it's before he was born, and it's people he's heard of, and he's learning some players as he does it. So that would be considered a change of pace as well. So that's the other topic we're looking at, is a change of pace. Let me get back to the comment section here. I wouldn't name the ball Ron. I would keep it Wilson. I really would, Banking on Money says it's got to be easy to set up, easy to moderate the rules. After learning, easy to set up and relearn the rules. Since it's related to sports, it has to be a sport you love. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think of that. It can't be something that it's got to be something you're into, obviously. Yeah. Pesky Paul never gets tired of playing his game, so I guess his Desert Island game wouldn't matter. But I agree. Would have to have a lot of seasons. Yep. Michael comes by. Thanks for coming by, Michael. Yep. I would agree with a lot of seasons, because if you're going to be playing it in a while, you want to have some different seasons. I know some people. Was it somebody on who the heck was it? Like I said, I've been trying to follow along. I'm at the rink on my phone when I follow you guys now, because that's where I live. And somebody was playing, I don't know if they were playing every game for one team, and they were like starting in a certain year and playing through the years, or if they were trying to do every game. I forget what it was, but it was like, wow, he was having a heck of a time with it. And I was like, oh, that's kind of fun. So, so you're talking about seasons there. Yeah, you have to have a lot of seasons to do it like that. Jeff says, change of pace can be different eras of a game or playing another sport. Yep. Hockey, football, and basketball would offer him a change of pace. Yeah, that's the other thing, too. Yeah, so it's not only teams and seasons. Yeah, another sport to change of pace. I've done that once in a while. I think with baseball, that was a change of pace for me because I was the hockey guy for a long time. And for me, I'm kind of really warming up to the baseball, and I probably get more baseball games than I have hockey games now, and catching up with seasons because it's fun playing the different baseball games. And for me, I have fun with baseball. I'm not that serious about it, Okay, from baseball game. Yeah, I kind of get where you were going with that. I'm pretty sure. So there's a couple of things, and I got one more I want to put up here. Let's see. All right, here's the last one. All right, I'm going to put this up on the screen. But is it fun? That's something that someone brought up the other day as well in one of our chat rooms. And they were like, I got this game I play, and it's super accurate, and it's got everything down pretty darn close to real life, but I just don't enjoy the game because it's just very mechanical, it's very mathematical, and even though the results come out, it's not fun. And conversely, there's a couple of games that I play that the results have been wild and wacky, and I don't want to say the game is not, within, acceptable norms, but I've had some pretty freaky results with a handful of games. However, they've been super fun. The game engine's fun, how they play is fun, and I just enjoy playing those games. And then I get the odd game that I'm like, ooh, not sure about this result, but it's fun. And so, I mean, there's another thing we talk about when it comes down to, playing these games is, it's got to be fun. Now, again, you don't want, the Cleveland Spiders to go undefeated. That would be ridiculous. It'd be ridiculously fun, but it'd be ridiculous. So if you played the funnest game in the world, but it wasn't at least somewhat realistic, then you're off the, it's off the table here. I get that. But if a game is fun for me and I'm really enjoying it, I have a lot more leeway and a lot more flexibility into the results I'm going to get from the game. That's just so. Again, fun is probably more important than anything else. But again, there's that little, the pie chart or whatever it is, or the graph or whatever you want to call it. I mean, if it's the funnest game in the world, but it's nowhere near realistic, then that does take away from the game, I think. So there's a balancing act between fun and realistic. Again, super fun but not realistic. Yeah, super realistic, not fun. Yeah, somewhere in the middle. You got to be somewhere in the middle. It's got to be fun, but it's got to be believable. Alan comes by and says, has to be fully carded to permit full season replay, since I would have plenty of time. Yeah, I would say you'd have to do that. I mean, that would be one thing. Yep, I would say that I like that as well. Steeler fan comes by, Cut Historical says he wants some good narrative with the game. Yep, I would say that would be another good thing. And Pesky Pole says, I've inspired him to play crappy teams. Oh, I have a new crappy team. I have a new crappy team, but I don't know where I'm going to play it. Hang on one second here. I found a new crappy team. Damn it. I don't know if I have it or not in a certain game. Let me just double check. Hang on one second. I'm checking my order. I'm checking it twice. I don't think I do have it. I found a new crappy team. And I think I might have ordered this back. Play order confirmed. Where's my other? I think I might have got it from Play. Order shipped. Order confirmed. September. Did I get this? I did. Okay. So this should make it on the team, on the table. Yeah, okay, I do have it. So I have this for second season. It's the 1974 World Football League. It was the 50th anniversary team cards. So I do have this for play. So I'm going to have to get that on the channel. And the team is the Detroit Wheels. And the Detroit Wheels in 1974 for the World Football League, or whatever that's called, they were 1-13. They didn't even finish the season. They did a 20-game season in that summer, and they didn't finish. And so they folded at 1-13. And I stumbled on that last night while I was reading about the World Hockey Association, I was following the Michigan Stags and the Baltimore Blades. Like they kind of moved from Detroit to Baltimore mid-season in the mid 70s, and then it said the other team that didn't do well in Detroit in the mid 70s was the Detroit Wheels of the World Football League. And I was like, what is that? And so yeah, so the Detroit Wheels, I don't know anything about them, but they're my new favorite bad team at 1-13. So I need to do that. I need to go check that out. Let's see here. Where are we in the chat room? Yes, you laugh your ass. Oh, you're laughing at the other guy here. Yeah, you're laughing at David C. Yeah, there you go. He's coaching his 5-year-old team. That could be fun. Let's see. The fun for me is the results and the statistics. How I get them, the actual game is less important than the joy of seeing the end result. Okay, so fun for you is that. Jim stops by and says, oh, he wants me to try the 69 Padres. I do have that. I have the 69 Padres in a couple of baseball games. I didn't know they were that bad, but I guess this is an expansion team. They're bad, right? Well, let me go here because since I'm at Baseball Reference, I will go to 1969 season. Let's check out those Padres, and let's see what I'm in for here. So the Padres, well, they had 52 wins, so they and Montreal, so they were both expansion teams, right? Along with the Pilots and the Royals. The Royals actually won 69. I think if they're an expansion team, they won 69 games. And the Pilots won 64, and then Montreal and San Diego, both 52 and 110. So was that Kansas City's first season? Yes, it was. Okay. So Kansas City wasn't bad. But yeah, 52 and 110. Yeah. Let's see if there's anybody on that team, Jim, that we might recognize. Not really. Canizaro, don't know. Tommy Dean. Wally Brown. Yeah, I'm not recognizing anybody on here. Clay Kirby's a pitcher. Joe Negro, I've heard of them. I think they were on the Reds and then the Braves or something like that. So a couple of pitchers I know on that team there. So that's a possibility. So yeah, so that's another team, crappy team I could try. I've never played with crappy Red Sox teams. I don't know if you can do that. Well, maybe. Maybe you could. Yeah, I'm not going to get that season for the White Sox, but they were pretty bad. 69 Expos were bad, too. 77 Blue Jays, yeah, and 77 Mariners, too. 95 for Raptors and Grizzlies in the NBA, 76 Bucks, 2008 Lions, the 93 Senators. What is it, the 92 or the 93 Senators? I forget. And the 75 Capitals. Yeah, all good ones there. Yeah, imagine that, 8 wins. Was that really 8 wins for the Capitals in 74, 75? If you ever read the story on, the NHL and that, they didn't go give those guys a chance. They were all, if you had a third line guy, you were doing quite well. So yeah, 8 wins was lucky for them. It really was, And you love when the teams would move midseason. Yeah, that was such a 70s thing. It really was. It really was. You like the Wheels logo? I haven't seen it yet. I've only read about the team. And WFL logos are certainly interesting. Yep. I heard they didn't make it through the 75 season. I'm going to have to research that. And the Pilots are cool because of the Ball 4 book. I have that, and I'm listening to it. The book's like this thick. It's ridiculously thick. And I was listening to that on the headphones. So when I'm at the gym or out, walking or something like that, even in the truck, I'll put it on. I'll listen to it, and it's Bauman just kind of talking about the day-to-day things and the different stories and stuff. It is interesting. I got a long way to go, and the Padres could not score at all, and the pitching wasn't bad. Interesting. The Royals did the best of the new teams. Yep. Canizaro may have caught for the 62 Mets. That I would not know. And the 0-16 Lions and Browns. Any Browns team for the past 35 years. That's funny. Sad, but funny. Yes, it is. I have some Brian Sipe teams I'm going to play. Some of those Browns teams, they weren't bad. They just didn't finish, And the WFL folded midway through 1975. Okay, I'll have to check that out. Read up the story on that. Maybe I'll go on YouTube tonight and kick back and watch some of that. You know what I wanted to do tonight is, but I come home from the rink and I had to do some more work over here. I just finished folding all the jerseys. So I'm going to come on and say hi to you guys and talk about some of the topics that well, coming up on the show. I wanted to sit and I fired up Hulu. I want to see that new Alien movie. I don't know what it's called, Alien something or other, but I like the Alien movies. I was going to watch that tonight, and now it's getting too late. So hopefully at some other point I'll watch that. But maybe tonight that'll be good. I'll watch some of the WFL, the history of the WFL, see what goes on with that. Try to 72-73 Phillies, 76ers. They won 9 and lost 73. Yeah, I heard that they were pretty bad. I don't have that season. I don't play a lot of basketball. That might be one to get in Downey games, like the player of the game basketball or something like that. What I want to do, I'm at the Downey games right now, so you can't see this, but I'm at the Downey games. I want to see what they have, if they have the WFL, like game-winning drive or something like that. All right, so game-winning drive. Do they have it? That would be awesome if they had that. They had 74, 75. Let's see. Holding my breath. Yes, they have the 74 World Football League. And so we'll be getting that. We'll be getting that for sure. So we'll be playing some game-winning drive with the World Football League. Now, they do have some different rules in that. So I imagine it's going to be, they might have a different rule book because it's like the Canadian football is a little bit different, you know. So we'll see, because the Canadian football came with its own instructions because it was a little bit different than the regular game-winning drive. 1974. Yes, okay. So the World Football League, they do have it at the Downey games on game-winning drive. So we'll be picking up that. Just for kicks, do they have it in anything else? Do they have it in, say, fast action football, which I saw Jason Graham's been playing fast action football. Yes, they have it. The 74 ebook. And they have the 75 as well, even though they didn't finish. Interesting. Did they have 75? I don't know how far they got in 75. In the chat room there, does anybody know how far the WFL got in 75? How many games they actually played? Okay, they don't have it in game-winning drive. They just have 74. For some reason, they had 75 in fast action football. Let's see. Momentum football. I don't think they would have it in momentum football. That's one of my games, but is it fun? You know that. Yes, they have the 74 World Football book. Oh, boy. So there's a couple of more purchases here. So we will be getting the Detroit Wheels here on the channel. That's for sure. Do they have it in final score? Oh, I bought the final score. The big whoop-de-doo. I wonder if it's in there. It's not showing it. They have all the other ones here. Other Pro Leagues ebook. Let's see what they have in that for final score. Oh, they do have the WFL. I wonder if I got that, though. Because I bought the big whoop-de-doo. They had, it was like a $50 or $60 thing, but with the sale, it brought it way down. Yeah, okay, here we go. The eBooks Deluxe. And it does have the WFL. So I do have it in second season. I do have it in final score for Downey. And so then I'll have to pick it up as well in the game-winning drive and also momentum football. That's funny. That's funny that they have those. I can't wait to go and play some stupid football with that, you know. And Crazy 08 for 1908. I think I have that. I think I bought that book. I want to say I haven't read it yet, but I do have it. And Chris Cannizzaro was an original Met in 72. Nice. Can you imagine catching for two brand new teams? No, I cannot. And David says that the WFL teams played 11 to 12 games out of 18. So they got pretty far. That's not bad. So they got more than halfway through the season. Yeah. Pesky Pole says, game-winning drive is a fun game. Going to try to do a college football project with that soon. I have a bunch of seasons. Yeah, I love that one there. That was my first drive-by-drive game. There's some better ones than that. But I just keep going back to that because that was my first one, and I'm comfortable with it, and I can pick it up, and I don't have to think about it, you know, because it's just I played it so much. I just know it, and I just like it. It was one of my first first serious games that I played, if you will, like way back in the day. So games like Shootout and Game Winning Drive that's where I kind of cut my teeth into all this stuff here, and so I still have a soft spot for those games there. So I will have to pick those up and get those on the channel here. As like I said, right now I'm playing with my 1970 Boston Patriots, and they're 0-6. And I need to go back and I like to play 3 games at a time. I get the sheets all set up, and I'll play 3 games and blow them out, and then we'll continue on a season like that. So at least that's one project I know I can finish because it's not going to take me that long. But the Detroit Wheels, can they score? Can they get anything? So we'll have to pick those up this weekend or this week. I got a busy few days coming up, but I need to get the Wheels going. I want to finish the Patriots first, Boston Patriots. Then we'll get the Detroit Wheels. Tempted to get them for fast action football because I haven't played that in a long time. But I have it in second season, so maybe we'll have to get some Wheels here on the season. In fact, I have where did I put it? I had it over here for the longest time, and I think I finally put it away. I had the season out because it was sitting over there, the WFL season. I know it was sitting over there because I had it over here. Then I cleaned up my desk a little bit because I had the Fury football was over here too, and it was sitting on top of Fury football because that's when I placed the order together with that. I should pull it out and take a look at it. I won't go get it now because it's like way over there. It's Studio A. It's in Studio A right now. But I'll have to pull that out and take a look at those teams and see how bad they are. It could be fun. Could be fun having a new bad team here on the channel. Maybe I'll just change the name of the channel to the Bad Team channel. What can you do? But anyway, so let me just recap here why I come on tonight. We want to talk about some topics here coming up on the show. You can just leave us some comments here. So the first one is, what constitutes a desert island game? Or if there's one game, you can only play one game for a while. I'm not saying forever because that's a long time. But if you got stuck somewhere and you could only play one game wherever you were, and it could be a computer game, tabletop game, could be anything at all, something that obviously you enjoy, that you can play for long periods of time and not get tired of. So what I don't want to know what the game is. I want to know why. What is it about this particular game, Game X, that you would consider to be that your desert island game? Is it how many seasons it got? Is it just is the game a quick play, a long play? Is it just how it plays? I mean, just have you played it for years and not sick of it? So what is it about this game that would allow you to play that on said desert island? So that's the first one we want to talk about. What constitutes the game? Not what is the game, but what's in the game that makes it that way. The other thing we want to talk about is change of pace. So in other words, leaving your comfort zone and going to play a season or a team or a sport that's usually not something that you would play, just kind of learning about the sport, learning about the team, learning about the season. I've done that a handful of times. I've played some games and some seasons I'm not familiar with and familiar with, and I was like, man, I had a blast. I was learning a lot about the season and the teams from that year and learning a lot about what happened, even though I thought I knew a lot about it. When I went back, it's like, oh, wow, yeah, that's kind of how that happened. That's why the SEALs moved. That's why Milosh was on the SEALs, the Barons, and the North Stars. I didn't know. I didn't know that they were all the same team as a kid. We didn't have the internet to follow that stuff. And, at the time, it just didn't register to me that we had all these teams, that Milosh was on all these teams. So, change of pace, doing some different sports, some different seasons, some different teams, and learning about it. So that's another thing we want to talk about. What are some of the things that you would do for change of pace? And also, but is it fun? When you're playing a game, it has to be fun, but how much is fun and how much is realistic? And I hate the word use accurate. I don't want to use the word accurate, but realistic. How much are you willing to let the realistic part of the game slide a little bit to have fun? And how much fun are you willing to let go to kind of get those stats really realistic? You don't want to say dead on, but I mean, when you're playing games or seasons or project, whatever it is, you can look back and say, wow, that was pretty darn close to what happened. but was it fun? Was that all worth it to get those results? Did you have fun doing that, or was it? Well, yeah, it's spot on, but this other game is more fun. So again, we like to ask, but is it fun? So we're going to ask, but is it fun? So those are some things we're going to talk about here. All right, I'm going to jump out. We got a few more comments here. Sorry about that. Well, before we go, let's take a look at some of the comments here. Yeah, but Thespian is why. It's not so much what game it is. We all have a favorite game, but what is it? What is it about Game X that would be your desert island game? What goes into that? What makes that game something that you can say, yeah, if I'm stuck somewhere, oh yeah, I could play this game for a long time. This would be my game because that's what we want to know. This would be my game to play in a one game situation for a long time because of this. That's what we want to know. PJet comes by. Yeah, that's what we want to know. And World's Worst Gamer tried to change the pace, but didn't quite work. And let's see here. Well, again, Peter, what we want to know is what makes this a desert island game? And it's not so much the game. Okay, so Red, White, and Blue Racing, great. What makes Red, White, and Blue Racing, if that's the game, what makes that your desert island game? What is it about that game that you say, hey, above and beyond every game I got, this would be the game if I had to choose one game, this would be the game I would take because of why? Why is it your game? So in other words, just explain that out. What is it about that game? And then what we want to do is we want to compare, what people are talking about and what Ron and I are going to talk about. And let's see what things go into these games and how much we have in common with all these things. So if you say, well, it because it's got this, this, and this, and someone else says, well, my game is this, and it's got this, this, and this, how much crossover do we have? So we're kind of building our perfect game, kind of, sort of, with that. So, have I tried Apra Soccer Blast? No, I'm not a soccer guy whatsoever. It would be, if I lived to 500 and I played every single game on my table 10 times, then I might try soccer. I just don't like soccer. Sorry. Some people love it. I don't. It's not my thing. I used to watch it when I was a kid before football come on Sunday because I think it'd be on from like 12 to 12:30, and then the pregame show would start. So I'd watch a half-hour soccer a week and watch Schumacher playing that for Germany. Aside from that, I have played a couple of soccer games here on the table. I won't say which ones, and they were fine games. There was nothing wrong with the games, but for me, it didn't mean a thing. I could have been playing cricket because I just don't know enough about soccer and how it all plays out. I played it as a kid, and I know what you're supposed to do. But with very little scoring and it's just not my game. And some people love the soccer games because it's like soccer's so exciting and they can tell you all about the ins and outs of soccer. Well, that's good for you. For me, not my thing. And everyone has different things. Yes, I do too. I heard they're not going to go back to that name though. So it's too bad. It's too bad. That was a classic. They'll always be Redskins for me. They will never be Comanches or whatever they are. Commandos. Cheetos. I don't know what they are. They'll always be Redskins. Sorry, I'll go kicking and screaming. Let's see. Dave Little. Unexpected heroes, unexpected villains. Lesser known guys who came through in the clutch to boost your team to victory or to defeat your team in a key moment. Let's see. PJet says, as much as I love hockey, any hockey game with one season it doesn't would not have much replayability as Red, White, and Blue Racing. Well, again, I think the idea is that you could one of the thing was the game would have to have a lot of seasons, so you're not limited just to one season. So okay, you could bring one game, but you could bring 100 seasons, let's say. So yeah, so it's the one game mechanic that would then this philosophical discussion that we're talking about is that you can bring one game on the PC or on the tabletop and have all the seasons you want, pretty much. What is it about that game? And maybe having a lot of seasons is one of the qualifications for a game to be a desert island game. It has to have a lot of seasons. And there's some games I'm purposely avoiding playing right now because they don't have a lot of seasons. And I've talked about it on the show that I don't want to fall in love with a game that only has a couple of seasons, or at least a couple of seasons that I would enjoy playing. It's one of the reasons why I don't like to watch like when they get a new show on TV. Me and my wife in the past have sat and watched some shows like, oh man, that was great, and then the season ends and they don't renew it. And it's like, well, geez, I watched this, I get into it, I'm watching all your commercials, love the show, and then you shut it down. So why get invested in something that I don't know it's going to have, another season? So a lot of times we'll wait until, a show's got like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 seasons. Now I can go and get invested in it because I'm going to binge watch a lot of seasons. So anytime they come out with a new show, I don't really watch it because they every year they throw all these shows up against the wall to see what sticks. And so many people have fallen in love with a particular show, and then they get one season, they're done, or half a season, they're done. It's like, oh man, that show was great. And so it's the same with the game. I don't want to fall in love with a game. There's a couple of games I played that I really liked, but they got 1, maybe 2 seasons that I would legitimately play, and it's just like, that's just not enough for me, because I would want more. I want more with just 1 season. I want more because I like your game so much. I want to play it more with different players and different teams. It's me. And maybe I'm the weirdo here. Maybe I'm, weirder than P-Jet, if that's possible, Let's see here. And Rob says, the game, like real life sports, has to be fundamentally realistic, predictability, and that strong teams beat weak teams, but at the same time, able to represent totally surprising and with real plays. I think he says real plays. Yeah, I'd like to see the underdogs win games from time to time. It's hard to make that happen, though, because I'm playing the Boston Patriots, who were 2-12, I think it was, in 1970. I'm playing that game-winning drive, and they've already lost one of the 2 games that they won in real life. And I'm looking at the rest of the schedule. I'm like, man, I can see them going winless in game-winning drive. I have a hard time seeing them even winning 1 game. Not saying it won't happen, but it just, when you're making these cards and dice games, boy, they make it tough. And by rights, they should make it tough for the underdogs to win. But they still have to beat somebody, right? If they won, no matter how many games it's won, if it's baseball, if they won 50 games, they got to beat somebody. So do they never beat the top teams? Do they not sneak that win out, over the Yankees or the Red Sox? And like the Spiders, when I did the Spiders with, was it Ultra Quick Baseball, I think it was. Holy cow, they didn't come anywhere as close to winning. Was it the 20 games that they won? I think they won like 9 or 10. It was just, they really had to roll perfect, and the other team had to roll, I think the Spiders had to roll 65 or 66, and the other team had to roll 11 or 12, and still then, it wasn't a guaranteed win for the Spiders. And so, yeah, they didn't come anywhere close to winning 20 games in that. I think they won 1 on a BG roll, which is a big game roll, and so they ended up getting 5 runs in a big game, and they won it like 5-4 or something. That's how they get one of their runs. And PJ says, yeah, the replayability factor. Yep. I saw that, David. My phone just chimed. So I'll check out those WFL games. And replayability. Yeah, I think that's the big thing, Let me see, the replayability. Yeah, I think that's the big thing, the replayability. Well, it has to be. I think that would be the number one thing for your Desert Island game, replayability, because if it's not, then it doesn't matter how good it is or how many seasons you got. You're not gonna replay it, right? You're just gonna play a couple of games and be tired of it. I'm not gonna give away my qualities. I think we've touched on a few of them here. It's got to be fun. It's got to be replayable. Things like that. So, I mean, you got the sport is another part of it too. I could not take a basketball or a soccer game as my Desert Island game. I'm just not into it. It would have to be, football, baseball, or hockey. Most likely it's going to be either hockey or football for me, because that's just what I'm more passionate about. And those are the games I watch the most and play the most and the whole bit. So, but not saying there's not a fun basketball game out there that I would and I would enjoy playing for a long time. There are some. It's a tough decision because we have so many games to play. And PJ, not sure what that was, but it's probably something I said, PJ. That's okay. We have a good time over here. So again, yeah. So we want to know again our 3 questions coming up on the podcast. So you can leave your comments, here in the video. What constitutes a desert island game? Not what the game is, but what's in the game. What does the game do that would make that a game that you could play a long time? Change your pace, trying some different things, going way out of your comfort zone. On either end of your season wheelhouse, trying different teams, different players, different sports. Someone brought up too. Maybe you can try something different. I did that with basketball, and I stumbled on Marco's game, the regular season basketball. I really liked that. And also player of the game basketball from Downey. I gave that a second shot. I bought that a long time ago, and I went back to it and I was like, no, this is actually more fun than I remembered. So those are changes of pace for me because I'm not a big basketball guy, but eventually, I once in a while I go back to them. I am going to try to get Rod on here. I want to get Rod on here, and I want to get him showing me how to play some basketball games here on the channel. I do have some strat basic basketball that I played, and I want to kind of go over that with him. But the other thing is I don't know enough about basketball. I have Inside the Paint, which is similar to Inside the Crease. And I like Inside the Crease a lot. Probably my favorite computer hockey game, Inside the Crease. And Inside the Paint is similar. It just doesn't do the line changes automatically, so I have a hard time with that. But I just don't know enough about the positions and who's covering who and the fouls, and because it'll ask for something, and I just don't know enough about the game. Whereas hockey, I know the positions and I know what's going on and who's going to get the rebound, who's fighting for this and how to do that. But with the basketball, I really, really was lost. And I watched a couple of videos on it, and I tried, and I just don't know the game. And that's the same thing with soccer. When I played the soccer game here, whatever game that was, I was like, man, I'm half following along, but I'm half completely lost because I just don't know what it means and what that is and how that happens. And so if I made a mistake, I had no idea if I made the mistake or not because I just don't know the game enough. But anyway, change of pace is another one. But is it fun? That's the other one. But is it fun? If you're playing a game, it has to be fun. And are you willing to give up some realisticness things? I don't want to say the word accurate. I don't want to use the A word. But are you willing to give up some of that for fun? But how much? And how much fun are you willing to give up to try to be more realistic with your results? Because, in theory, there could be a perfect baseball game where everything comes within just a couple of percentage points of everything in real life. But would that be fun? I mean, if you rolled dice or whatever it is, flip fast action cards, and, you played out a whole season and it was almost identical to real life, is that any fun? That you got it to be spot on? Is that fun? It might be. But again, you can just, go to, baseball or football reference and look at the stats and get your stats that way too. So, I mean, do you want to see some things happen in the game? Do you want to see some upsets? Do you want to see the underdogs win a game? Do you want to see the underdogs not win some of the games that they won? Is that going to be fun for you? So, I mean, the other things, but is it fun? That's another thing we're going to talk about here on the show. Oh, let's see. Get me back into the chat room here. Can you order new seasons on your island? Yeah, well, again, for the sake of this discussion, you can, you'll be wherever you are, whether it's in a room, or an island or whatever it is, that you have access to everything going on with that game. But it's just the one game. So you can only play that one game. You get many seasons. Again, computer or tabletop. Again, it's just what we're talking about here. Just kind of a hypothetical, if you will. Just kind of know what you guys what goes into making a game something that you can play for a long time. Is kind of what we're going at with that. So you wouldn't need to order new seasons. The seasons would be there. All right, just wherever you're going, wherever you're stuck, you go, holy cow! Oh, it's this game, and I have all these seasons here. Oh, I think I can make this work. Oh, and I get plenty of food and water and bathroom, and you know, I get AC. So it's not you're not Tom Hanks there on the island surviving. You're doing quite well on this island, but for some reason, only one game made it to the island. Let's just say you went to a paradise for 6 months, but you're there and you're locked in. You can't communicate with the outside world. Just kind of stuck there. But everything arrived. Everything didn't arrive, but one game in all the seasons. Kind of where we're going. Again, use your imagination. Dufferman comes by, says, give me a game with an option for fictional teams, ability to reset or restart at any time. But that's something that we haven't even discussed yet. Fictional players, fictional teams, that would have some replayability, right? Because you could, draft all the teams over and over and over and over and get different teams every time you played. So yeah, Dufferman, that's something that's pretty neat that we didn't even talk about. So that's something we'll have to talk about when we talk about playing the Desert Island games. Did I order my new season for my wife? Did I order the jewelry? Is that what you're saying? Did I order the jewelry? Yeah, I ordered some jewelry. When I opened the box, there was a season of Appa in there. I don't know. I think I got scammed. What do you think? Let's see here. And so you wanted to try the lacrosse game, but it's too rich for your blood. I'm really not big into lacrosse. I watch it. My friend, his son plays. He's really good. He's in college over here. But it's just guys whacking each other with a stick. It's just like, not my thing. And yeah, I got some Action PC is having some really, really good sales right now. They're giving away 66, but I already have it. That's the thing. I already have 66. So I think I might pick up 1970 at some point for the football game. 1970 is kind of becoming my new 1976, where it's like I'm really getting into that season and researching that season and watching This Week in Pro Football 1970. And I have the APA season here. I might pick it up on the Strat PC and just Action PC and yeah, I think I got a game-winning drive. I do have a game-winning drive because I'm already play it, So, yeah. So that's what I'm doing with that. Brock comes by. What does Brock got to say? Must be suitable for fictional play. Must have some sort of progressive career mode. Oh, well, that's going to be tough now. The fictional play we were just talking about, what a progressive career mode, well, that's going to really limit you to what's out there for games. I'm not sure what's out there for PC that does that, and I'm not sure what's out there on Cards and Dice that does that. So you might be limited to what games or game would end up on your island, because that's a lot to ask for. Unless I'm missing something here, because again, it's been a while since I looked into fictional stuff, and I really don't have too much of that. And PJet says maybe Apple Hockey because it takes the longest to play. And they have every Barons and Seals season. Yeah, I would say that's another thing that comes into play is the length of a game. Because if it takes a long time to play a game, then, you'll be more apt to play that for a while. Because if a game took you 10 minutes, holy cow, it's over in the blink of an eye. So you could rip 2 seasons, I guess. But I think, the longer the game takes, for me, that would be something on the island. I wouldn't want a game that took me 5 minutes. I want a game that took me a while that I could sink my teeth into, because that would be some replayability for me as having a long game, Let me see here. Grid Zone and Dice United. Okay. Philip, good to see you, Philip. Yeah, we're just kind of chatting away here. And PJ will have nothing but time. Well, that's what I'm kind of thinking at. It's just, again, this is just a little chat that we do, like we always talk about. What's the one album you could listen to forever? What's the one movie you could watch forever? Things like that. It's kind of what we're doing here. And it'll probably never happen, but just, at some point you get sick of any game. But, I mean, what's the game you think you would last the longest with, When will we see some more hockey? Stone Cold or Hockey Bones? well, probably not Stratomatic, but you'll definitely see some Hockey Bones here and some Stone Cold. I like those. I was gonna pull out some Hockey Bones the other day. I just haven't had Hockey Bones is one of those games I really need to think when I play because there's all this quick math that you're doing, and I'm coming home and my head is mush when I get home from the rink. So that's why I've just kind of done some chats and a few things like that. And game winning drive is nice and easy. I don't have to think about it. So I haven't played any of the hardcore stuff yet. I'm in dying to play some map of football, and I don't dare set it up because it takes me 45 minutes, half an hour and 45 minutes to set it up and then play it. And it takes me a couple of hours. I haven't had that time to put together. I haven't had the mental capacity to do anything like that, and I wouldn't enjoy it. If I'm tired, I'm not going to enjoy it. That's the other thing. I'm not going to enjoy it. Oh, let's see here. Yes, you need to play some Barons. Yes, you do. It's always fun to play the Barons. I started a shootout Baron season, and I was posting the results on Delphi. That was months ago. Might even been a year ago now, and I haven't got back to that one either. I was having some fun with the Barons one. Now that I got 2 decks for shootout, I could probably rip through a game a little quicker now. But I had some fun with some of the Baron stuff. But again, that's another one of those things. I did the seals in shootout hockey, the 73, 74 seals, to see how many wins I could get them. And boy, I tell you, by the middle of that season, it was just the losing took its toll on me. It really did. Because they'd have leads and they would blow the leads and you could just see it wasting away. It got maddening watching them blow so many leads. It became aggravating. I'll be quite honest here. It was aggravating. Let's see. Philip says games I like a lot is History Maker Baseball Express. He's using the fact cards for dice rolls. Yep. Everyone keeps talking about the 2024 White Sox. How bad were they? So if I go here to baseball and I go to seasons and I go to 2024. So what were they here in the standings? 41. Wow, really? 41 wins. Even Colorado and Miami, who I didn't know were still in the league, had 61 and 62. 41 and 121. Now, where does that put them amongst the worst? 41 and 121. Now, let's go back to 1969. So 41. We're going to mark that in our heads. 41. If I go back to 69, giggity. Okay, well, to put it in perspective, Seattle Pilots had 64 wins in their first year. And San Diego, Montreal had 52. So that's actually less than the 61. 41. We said 41, right? Did I say 41? So, 41. I was supposed to bookmark that, and I didn't. 41. Yes, they had 41 wins. So, in 1969, yeah. Even the Padres and the Expos had 52. So 41, that's pretty bad, right? 41 is pretty bad. Doug comes by. Any more game-winning drive on deck? Yes, that's going to be coming up. I'm going to finish my Boston Patriots season. And then I was talking to the guys about my new favorite team, the Detroit Wheels of the World Football League. So they have that in game-winning drive and also, momentum football. And so I'll be picking up that at some point. And then I have that. I ordered that during one of the sales, I think, from Play. So I have that for second season. So we'll be getting some Detroit Wheels on the table, whether it's game-winning drive or second season or momentum. Maybe all three. Maybe I'll have some fun with the Detroit Wheels, getting them here on the channel and giving them a little bit of love, But thanks for coming by, Doug. And yeah, Sean, yeah, the losing could take its toll on a man. When I played the 77 Blue Jays in Action PC Baseball, it was hellish. I think, though, I could play a bad team if they're not my favorite team. Yeah, I think if you don't have any connection to it, yeah. Yep. P just says it'd be a nightmare because the Sox use like 30 pitchers. Yeah, so I wonder how many players were on that team. Well, let me take a look here. Whoa. Let's see, 2024. So let's go to my standings. And let's go to our White Sox, and let's see here. So it looks like they had 30 players batted, and they had 35 pitchers. So standard fielding. So it looks like they had 63. 63 guys. Is that what it was? Again, it's kind of all over the place here, but so they had 63 guys. So yeah, that would be tough. I do have Second Season Express. I should play that more. I know Marco likes that. I need to do I should try to do that. The Second Season Express. I got the mat for it. And I have played that. So yeah, maybe I'll do Second Season Express. It's a little faster. And yeah, so they had 66 players or something like that. I'm interested to see how many APA gives you and how many when Payoff Pitch does it if they get you everybody. But that would be tough. And 4, 6, 7 actually wasn't awful for a team losing 121 games. Imagine that, 121 games in modern baseball. You're going to lose that. Well, the Detroit Wheels, when I was reading last night, how I stumbled on this, PJ, because this kind of goes back to you, is I was looking at the Hockey Bones 77-78 set that this released. And I'm going to probably pick that up on game drive-through cards, because it wasn't that expensive. It's only 8 teams. So I'm going to probably pick that up. And while I was looking at that, reading about that 77-78 season, I stumbled into the Michigan Stags and the Baltimore Blades, how they left Michigan and went to Baltimore. And I was following that and reading that article. It talked about another team from Detroit in a new league that didn't do well, the Detroit Wheels from the World Football League. And I was like, I don't know anything about that. So I clicked on that and went down the rabbit hole with the World Football League in Detroit and followed them along. And yeah, they didn't even finish the season. They went 1-13, and they didn't play their last 6 games. And so Juckett was talking to me. Juckett was looking it up while I was driving home today. He's like my tech support. So when I'm driving home from the rink, I'll talk to him, and he'll be typing away in the computer, and he'll be feed me the stats. So it's kind of neat. I can talk to him. It's like, how many of this and how many of that? So Juckett kind of does that on the way home. It's kind of neat. But yeah, they didn't finish the season, so I still don't know where I would find a ton of stats on that and find out like their schedule and the scores and stuff. Yeah, that'd be kind of neat to do. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. I'll have to do that. I don't have any of those, Philip. I don't know anything about those particular leagues. Again, that's talk about change of pace. That's a big change of pace. I don't go back that far with any of my sports. I just don't know enough about it. I play the dead ball for like Apper and stuff like that, and a little bit of Payoff Pitch, just because I like the names, and I like the old teams, and again, I like the goofy teams. I say goofy just because they don't exist anymore. So Seattle Pilots, I would say goofy because they're not around. So for me, I like things like that. I like just to do, some. It's I don't like this. It's just Red Sox, Yankees, and Bruins, Canadians, and Cowboys and 49ers. I don't like to do all those. I like to do the weird teams. That's always been my thing. Even as a kid, when I played games, I would play Minnesota, St. Louis, for hockey games, which, no one in my neighborhood cared. No one even knew what the North Stars or the Blues were. But I played those games on my tabletop with my little guys, and I had a heck of a time. And I was the only guy probably in the state of Massachusetts in the early 70s that was digging those teams. I didn't really know anybody, but just the names and the logos were cool, and the jerseys, so that's what I did back in the day. Now that I bored you to death. You sent me the link to the book of Detroit Wheels. I think I saw that on my phone. Cool. The author's a great guy. Oh, we might have to get a hold of him, get him on the show. I'm still trying to get Troy Treasure on to talk about the Scouts, because that's been that was last year, 50 years, and we didn't get him on, and that was my fault. I keep trying to get him on the show, and then he just doesn't respond to me. So I did read his book, Icing on the Plains, about the Scouts. Interesting book. The poor Scouts. Amazing how the Capitals survived. The Capitals get 8 wins and survived and went on even to win a cup eventually. And the Scouts got 2 seasons and they left. Yeah, it just happens, I guess. But yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. Do you know what I've been doing with that the Bauman book, The Ball 4? I told you, is I've been really listening to that on the headphones. So I bought the book. It's like this big. Like, oh my gosh. And then I looked and I had some reason I had a credit on Audible. So I was able to buy the book for Audible for the credit. And so I've been just listening. And then like I say, when I take a walk or if I'm, cutting the grass, the snow blowing, or at the gym, I'll put it on. Or if I'm in the car driving to the rink, I'll put it on and listen to a couple of his stories because it's easy listening. It's just all about stories throughout the year. And they some of them run together because he's talking about this and that, and it's just kind of the same old sometimes. But it was still interesting. But yeah, the Detroit Wheels, I'll have to look into that. So yeah, David, thank you for doing that. I'll have to get on that and play some of the games with the teams there and learn some of the guys and see what goes on. I think I saw on again, I don't know if it's true or not, on Reddit, I think it was it Reddit or Wikipedia, something like that, I don't know. And it was talking about how the owner wouldn't pay anybody over $10,000. So basically he had a club team playing in pro football. They were just getting smashed. Now it wasn't like 45-0 every week, but I mean they really weren't going to win. They kept it close, but that was about it. Kind of close as the hockey game was today. 0-0 after one period. Shots were 23-4. They were just croaking this team. And they held their own, though, after one period, 0-0. And they ended up losing 13-2. It's been a while since I've seen a game go up to 13. But, yeah, the other team just got tired and just kind of gave up, Let's see. But, yes, thank you for that. I will check that out. Anyway, anything else we want to talk about? Again, just want to wrap up what we want to talk about on the show. So if you catch this after the fact, what constitutes a desert island game? What things are in a game or how a game plays that would make it a game that you could play for a long time and not get tired of is what that is. We don't want to know the game per se, as in why this game is something you could play. Change of pace. We talked about trying different sports, trying different teams, different seasons. For me, it'd be different seasons and different sports. And then, but is it fun? Do you have some games that are spot on with their, being realistic, but maybe they're not quite as fun as a different game that doesn't get you quite as realistic results, but boy, you have a heck of a time playing it, So that is that. So I'm going to jump out here. I'm going to go finish I've been loving these. I had a couple of these today. The, what is this one here? The Mandarin Orange. Gander Dry Mandarin Orange Seltzer Water. These are really good. They're very fruity, and they're crisp and clean, no caffeine. I really like them, and I have a good time with them. So anyway, that is that. So I am Dave from Studio B. Thanks for coming by tonight. My schedule does thin out after this weekend, so hopefully I can get back to playing some games. I'm going to have to pick up my Detroit Wheels. I'm going to have to go pick up those seasons for the Downey games because those play quick. I'll have to look in the Second Season Express and see what we can do with that. That'd be fun. I got to get back to that. That's another fun one. And what else was there that I wanted to say on my way out the door? Oh boy, there was something else I wanted to... yeah, we're going to get the WFL on here. I'll finish up my Boston Patriots season. Once things slow down, I plan on getting some more Alpha baseball, Alpha football, and hockey bones on the table. Yeah, I need to get that the 77-78 WHA season from drive-through. And I have some other things in the cart, too. There's a couple of games that ID was showing me that were not sports games that I put in the cart that might be kind of fun. Little card games that they have there that are, $10, $15, $20 games that could be kind of fun to play in the whole bit. And, like I said, we're going to be lining up some people. We're going to get some people on here to play more games here. Not just me, but I'm going to have the developer of the games on here, and we're going to be playing those games and talking to them about those games. And I can't wait for that. But I don't want to do it just yet. I want to make sure that I'm out of my busy season and that I'm not sitting in here falling asleep, while we have our guests on. I want to make sure I'm ready to go, and that won't be for probably another few weeks to a month before I can really say, yep, let's go and do this. But we'll get them on, and we're going to show it off. And that's kind of the goal this year is is to get more gameplay here on the channel with the developers so we can all learn their games together and discover their games together. So I think that should be fun. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming by. David, thanks for coming by and pointing out those links for me. I will get right on those and check those out, and we'll have some fun with that. So I'm Dave from Studio B. Thanks for coming in, everybody. Have a great night, and bye-bye.